Welcome to the What Could Have Been Fantasy Football League podcast with your host, Ed Weirdo.
And welcome everybody to another edition of the What Could Have Been Fantasy Football League podcast. Glad to be back. I know it's been a while. I've been busy with work. I finally got some vacation time, so I decided to make another episode. Episode 14. Yay. I know. It's so sad. Still so sad. I wish I was like on episode 100. That'd be amazing. But I'm not. In this episode, we will be looking at how I did on my preseason projections. I projected what place everybody would finish at, and it's time to look to see how well I did. I hope you enjoy the episode. All right, so let's see how I did on the projections. As always, you can tell, look, I'm not really in the studio. Dang it. I hate when I have to switch out of this immersive view because you get to see that I'm actually in my office. Well, I was really wrong about this one. I thought Daniel would finish 16th, last place overall. I did not account for Isaiah Pacheco having such a great year. He did not do that for me last year. Raheem Mostert, early on in the season, the guy was amazing. He had 13 points, 28 points, 43 points to start this season. Absolutely amazing. Drake London, although Daniel does not have him on his team currently, he did start off the year pretty well. Calvin had him all last year. And I don't even know if he scored a touchdown last year, but he did pretty well this year before Daniel traded him. Terry McLaurin did Terry McLaurin things just like I thought. The guy vanishes into thin air most of the time. And Dalton Schultz is no longer on his team either. But between Herbert, Pacheco, and Mostert, Daniel's had a pretty good year and sitting at number 3 right now overall. Good job, man. Another one I was pretty off on was Violento. I said he would finish 15th overall. I didn't account for Stafford playing the whole season, which, to be fair, he has not played the whole season. He's been hurt. Josh Jacobs, I didn't like too much, but Josh Jacobs, although he started off pretty slow, he has picked it up recently and doing pretty good, averaging about 15 points a game the last 3 games. Damian Pierce was a huge bust, but Violento got saved. He picked up Keelan Williams from the Rams off the waiver wire, and Keelan Williams through like the first 4 games was averaging something ridiculous. Hold on, let me check here what we got. Keelan Williams, first few games, 19 points, 26 points, had a 29-point game, had a 24-point game, and that really set the stage for Violento's team. Jamar Chase started off really slow, and now with the injury to Joe Burrow is currently out for the season. So we'll kind of see. He's at 7 right now. We'll see if he can hold on to the end of the year. On this one, I said 2 girlies, 1 cup. We'll finish 14th overall. So far, I consider it as I've nailed it. He is currently at 13th. Not spending time on the ones I was right. I think I nailed another one. I said Santonio Brown would finish 11th overall, and currently he is 11th on the dot. However, I'm currently beating him right now, so he may drop further after that. This one I was wrong as well. I thought the Cowboys would finish 12th overall, which, is not great. Turns out his team is even worse than I thought, and he is at 16th overall in dead last. So the current champion is not looking to repeat this year. Cam Akers, no longer on his team, out for the season. Dalvin Cook, seems to be washed up. Calvin Ridley, I did like him coming into the year. If you had Twitter and you saw some of the videos from the preseason, Calvin Ridley looked amazing. But for the most part, he's been a disappointment this year overall. Deontay Johnson, he has him on his team right now. Deontay Johnson missed the first 6 weeks. So really and truly, Cowboys pretty much had a rough go since the beginning. No surprise now that, he's in 16th place. Another one I was wrong on again was Bad Mojo. I said he would finish 11th overall, and he is currently in 2nd place. Josh Allen has single-handedly put him in 2nd place. So I did, in my projections, say that, hey, man, Josh Allen's a stud. This guy will carry you. And yeah, he has. He has carried him all the way to 2nd place. It's amazing. So Josh Allen, some of his numbers and some of his games are 29 points, 23 points, 44 points, 32 points, 18 points, 29 points, 33 points. Stop if you heard this before, 27 points. I don't know how much Josh Allen can squat, but as much as he's carrying this guy's team, he must squat a lot. Other than that, his team, has kind of been a disappointment. Aaron Jones was hurt most of the year so far. Miles Sanders, I'm not even sure the guy plays in the NFL right now. Chris Godwin, big disappointment. George Pickens, a big disappointment. TJ Hawkinson has been a beast for Ed's team, though. I shouldn't say Josh Allen has single-handedly carried Ed's team, because TJ Hawkinson has also been a vital part of it as well. He started off the first game of the season with only 11 points, but after that it was 25, 13. Then we lost Kirk Cousins. So TJ Hawkinson got a new quarterback, and the new quarterback, he was with 10 points and 10 points. Then after that, these past few games has just been on fire. 19 points, 20 points, 13 points, 31 points. And that's from the tight end spot. So, Josh Allen has had a little help. But between those two guys, man, they have been carrying Ed all the way to the number 2 spot, which is great, man. Good job. This one, I was wrong, but the season's not over yet. So I'm not sure, I might be a little closer by the end of the year. So I did say Tejano's going to end up number 10th overall, and he's currently in 5th, but my wife is spanking that, what? So he's going to drop a little bit, not all the way down to 10, of course, but, he may be going down to 6 or 7. So I might be closer by the end of the year on this one. Trevor Lawrence, huge disappointment. However, he picked up a guy named CJ Stroud. And I don't watch college football. I'm not really sure which college he attended. All I know is in the NFL, this guy's legit. So good job picking up CJ Stroud. And it's even better because Tejano's a huge Houston Texans fan. So it's always fun rooting for someone on your own home team, right? Travis Etienne, the word was that he's going to lose a lot of goal line touches to Tank Bigsby, but that has not come to fruition. Travis Etienne's having a great year. James Conner was having a really good year as well. Got hurt, but is back. DeAndre Hopkins, I thought this guy was washed. For the most part, he has been washed this season, but he's had some huge games in between, which kind of like came in a timely manner for Tejano to kind of get him to this 5th place spot. Cortland Sutton, no one really was looking to get any receivers off Denver, but Cortland Sutton's had a solid year. Jerry Jeudy looked like the one that was going to have a good year based off preseason Twitter. However, Cortland Sutton has been the one that's really been doing a good job. And of course, the Cowboys defense. That has been a wild card for Tejanos. Keep in mind, this is a defense now, right? Let me go read off some of the scores that these guys had. 39 the first game, 18, they scored 2, but then 29, they scored 3, but then 8, 17, they scored 4, 13, and then 25. That's crazy. Overall, these guys are ranked like a quarterback. Great job drafting the Cowboys defense. I'm a Cowboys fan myself. I should have paid for these guys. At number 9, nailed it. So Pigskin and Fries is currently number 9, right on the money. Not going into it. I'm going to just take my victories and run. I figured I nailed this one too so far. I called Calvin winning at last was going to finish 8th overall. Currently, he's at 6th overall, but he's about to lose again right now. So, that may be 8th place by the time I post this video. So I nailed that one. Hope you guys are enjoying the ranking show so far. Before we get to the second half, let's take a quick pause for a public announcement.
Does fantasy football have you feeling sad, angry, or even depressed? Do you lie awake at night wondering what could have been?
I can't believe I started Stroud over Lawrence this week. Are you kidding me? A chain just got back and he got hurt in the first quarter. How did he get Perrine in the lineup? What the hell? Who the hell is Devin Singletary? Of course, Cooper Kupp leaves the game. Joe Burrow out for the season. I quit.
If you need someone to talk to, we are here for you at fantasytherapy.com. We can pair you with a trained professional with real fantasy football experience to help you navigate the highs and lows of fantasy football. You can also call our hotline at 1-888-438-2543. That's 1-888 Get a Life.
Our trained professionals are not board certified nor licensed in any state. FantasyTherapy.com does not guarantee happiness, as fantasy football yields a lifetime of frustration.
Oh, I feel so bad about this one. I feel so bad. So I am wrong. He's not in 7th place. He's in 12th place. But poor guy. Aaron Rodgers played one drive for the Jets this year and then was out for the season with a torn Achilles. That hurt his team. That hurt the Jets team in general in real life. And the Jets fan base, the Jets offense has been horrendous with Zach Wilson. Aaron Rodgers is supposedly coming back from a torn Achilles in the same season in the next couple of weeks. And if he does, wow, that would be absolutely amazing. Not just for Aaron Rodgers and not for Philly's Northwest team, but also for the Jets fans. They need it. They deserve it. Joe Mixon is no longer on his team. He hasn't really replaced that running back with someone that's comparable. Antonio Gibson, I think, is on his bench somewhere. But again, he's kind of hurting at the running back position. Jahan Dotson, he dropped him. Jahan Dotson was supposed to have a big year. And he made some big plays so far this season, but nothing consistent where you can start the guy. Garrett Wilson, again, that was going to be a really good receiver for Philly Northwest. But with Aaron Rodgers leaving for the season, Garrett Wilson with Zach Wilson has been a disaster. Isaiah Likely, you see him on there, but his real tight end was Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews missed the first game, so that's why Isaiah Likely's on this picture. However, Andrews is also out for the season at this point. So it's been a rough year for Philly Northwest. I feel for you. I apologize, man. I feel bad. Better luck next year is all I can say, man. Injuries suck. This one. I don't know. I don't know how he does it. I don't know. I said he was going to finish 6th overall, which is not bad. That's a pretty good ranking, based on the fact that I didn't know what Deshaun Watson was going to do. I didn't like Gerald Everett as your number 1 tight end. Nick Chubb was going to be great. Kenneth Walker was probably going to be great. Deebo Samuel, I wasn't really a fan of. But this guy has just been getting so lucky, man. Mike has been getting so lucky with these games. So Deshaun Watson's currently out for the season. But he drafted Brock Purdy, and Brock Purdy's been really consistent with about 19 to 25 points a game. Kenneth Walker got hurt today. I'm not sure if it's season ending or not. I have to look at that later on. But, up until now, he's been doing pretty well. Nick Chubb, unfortunately, tore his knee. He just shredded his knee early in the season. Mike replaced him with a guy named Devin Singletary, which is, pretty much the only guy that was on a waiver wire. But, like I said, Mike's just been getting lucky. And Devin Singletary's scored like over 20 points these last 2 games. A.J. Brown has been a monster this year so far. He put up like 39 points against me, and that's how Mike beat me that week. Deebo Samuel's missed a lot of games. So I really wasn't big on Deebo Samuel to start the year. And he's kind of been about that, right? Kind of an overall disappointment. He had a big week last week, and then he had a big week, early on in the season, but everything in between has been kind of a mess. But fortunately for Mike, Mike has the fewest points scored against him, right? So by a long shot too. It's not even close. He's just getting really lucky with this matchup, catching people in his bye weeks, and then people just having horrible games against him. So we'll see. We'll see how it holds up. So he's currently in first place, man. I mean, hats off to him. But we'll see if he stays in first as we go to the next 4 or 5 weeks, or he kind of drops down closer to that 6 range. But good luck, man. That'd be really sweet considering the injuries that you've managed throughout this season so far. All right. This one, it pains me because it's my wife, right? Of course. But I said she would finish number 5 because she has a great team. Her team is really good. She's currently in 10th. However, she kind of had like the opposite luck of Mike. She's kind of been catching everybody's best punches along the way. So although she scored a lot of points, everybody else is scoring a lot of points against her as well. Khalil Herbert was doing really good the first couple of games, and then he took an injury. So that kind of hurt her running backs. Devontae Adams been pretty much a bust, considered where he was drafted. But she had Brandon Ayuk, and I did mention that in the podcast when we first did the projections. I said, hey, man, she has Ayuk down there on the bench. You can't see him, but he's there. And just as we speak, he had a 75-yard touchdown right now. I'm recording this. It looks like she's going to get the win today. Of course, she's not going to go all the way to 5th place. However, with the next 4 weeks, if she continues to win, she might get there. Jake Ferguson, love the guy. Him and Dak Prescott have really made a good connection this year. Amon-Ra St. Brown has been everything as advertised. He's scoring about 15 points per game. Pretty much a lock, and he's going to have 15 every time he suits up. So we'll see. Good luck, and, keep fighting, and we'll see if we can get you to 5th place before the year's over. Some of this stuff, I'm like, wow, I did a good job calling this. And then some of this stuff is like, this, you can't account for all these injuries, right? So Paquita's had a pretty good team to start the year. Joe Burrow, Austin Eckler, Stephon Diggs, Mike Evans, Dallas Goedert. So the team was stacked. So that's why I gave her the 4th place preseason ranking. But Joe Burrow got an injury in training camp, really got off to a really slow start the first 4 weeks of the year. Came on strong for a couple of weeks, and now he's out for the season. So that hurts. Austin Eckler had a great first game, second game, got an ankle sprain, missed, 6-7 weeks. So that hurt her season. Jerick McKinnon, He had a great end to last year. So I thought that, hey, maybe some of that will carry over, but it has not. And then, she never really got a second running back. Stephon Diggs, he's been doing, a great job as well. But, with Joe Burrow's lack of production, Austin Eckler getting hurt, it's kind of hard for Stephon Diggs to, carry the team by himself. Dallas Goedert as well. He was doing okay, but then he's hurt again this year. He's currently on IR. Mike Evans, super surprising. I thought this guy would not hold up, with his age, but he's been doing great. Let me double check the stats. So he has 15 points to start the year, then 27, 14, had a couple of slow weeks, then 17, 11, 10, 24. Currently has 12 on the day. So he's been pretty solid, especially for his age. He's had a solid year this year. So good for him. I'm glad he's continuing to do well and fight Father Time. At number 15 currently, second to last place. This one I would have never called. Nobody could have called this, right? I projected him to finish third overall. He had Jalen Hurts. He had Saquon Barkley. I wasn't high on Jamal Williams, but he was just his second running back. He had CeeDee Lamb. He had Amari Cooper. He had Dalton Kincaid, a very promising rookie coming out of camp. The Browns defense, one of the best defenses in the NFL. Injuries. So I think Jamal Williams got hurt either the first or second game and then got put on IR, missed like 6 weeks. Saquon Saquon himself got injured, but also at the same time, the quarterback got injured. So between the quarterback going down and Saquon missing time, those two put together has been a real strain on his production. CeeDee Lamb got off to a really slow start because Dak, as I mentioned, got off to a really slow start. But now, CeeDee Lamb has this past few games have averaged like over 25 points a game. So he's on his way back. Amari Cooper, bless his heart, he's been doing a great job this year, as much as possible. But he just lost his quarterback, Deshaun Watson, for the year. So we'll see how his production continues. Dalton Kincaid, Hamill could have just held on just a little bit longer. He was having a really slow year, but then the starting tight end got hurt. And now Dalton Kincaid has been an absolute beast. So Mike picked him up. So again, talking about Mike and just, getting lucky and just picking up the right guys and things falling his way. Dalton Kincaid was one of those things that fell his way. He picked him up. Dawson Knox got hurt, the other tight end. And Dalton Kincaid's been averaging like almost 20 points a game since the injury. Cleveland Browns defense, really good pick by Hamill. I didn't see it coming. Pretty much a top 3 defense in the real NFL and on fantasy. But unfortunately, Hamill dropped them during the bye weeks. And guess what? I picked him up. I've been starting the Browns defense ever since. And yeah, those guys are really good. So thank you, Hamill. But sorry about your team, man, so far. Number 2, hey, wait, who's that? Kingwood, Texas. That's me. Oh, man. Number 2 overall. See, I jinxed myself. I shouldn't have done that, right? I said I was going to finish number 2 overall. I tried to do the reverse jinx. I was going to predict myself number 1 overall. I said, you know what? I'm giving myself number 2 overall just to avoid jinxing myself. And I still jinxed myself. Currently at number 8. I've had the injury bug this year at QB. So I lost Justin Fields. Justin Fields was scoring like 40 points a game. It was crazy. I was blowing people out. But then he got hurt. He's missed like 5 weeks. He came back today, scored 25. So that's promising to me. Madison, I traded him for Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon was doing okay. Then I traded Joe Mixon for Breece Hall. So currently I have Breece Hall in that spot, which is fine. It's my number 2 running back, right? Can't complain. DJ Moore, another one. Him himself didn't get injured, but when Justin Fields went down for 5 weeks, I really, really, really took a hit on DJ Moore's production. Zay Flowers, I traded him. I did like him. He's really good, really, really good receiver. He's having a really great season, especially for a rookie. But in his spot, I picked up a guy named Puka Nacua off the waiver wires in like week 3 or something like that. And that guy's had a stellar season. So between DJ Moore, getting Justin Fields back, and then I got Puka Nacua. He was doing really well. He lost Matt Stafford for a few weeks, but Matt Stafford's back now. Sam Laporta, I drafted him for $1. That guy has had an amazing season for a tight end. I also picked up another tight end, another rookie named Trey McBride. So between those 2 guys, I got Chris Olave on my bench. I also got Kyler Murray. I picked up Kyler Murray off the injured reserve. So hopefully, between Kyler Murray, Justin Fields, McCaffrey, then I got the Breece Hall, DJ Moore with his quarterback healthy. And then I have Puka Nacua with his quarterback healthy now. We'll see. I'm going to try to claw my way up to number 2 so I can get that first week bye in the playoffs. And I'm going to say I nailed this one. So the last one, MetLife Center, it's my man Z. I predicted him to finish first overall. He's currently in fourth overall, but we'll see. Like I said, we have 4 more weeks. He has time to catch up and get back to that first place. Mahomes, has had a really slow season this year. Steady, but slow. Not up to, the 50 points that we're used to from the guy. Tony Pollard's pretty much been the biggest disappointment, only because, I don't even think he scored. I got to go look at the game today to see if he scored or not. But I think he's only had 1 touchdown on the year so far, rushing touchdown. So, yeah, poor guy. I thought he was going to have a really big year losing Zeke, but it hasn't really come to fruition. Derrick Henry, I kind of called this one a little bit with the age. And, yeah, Derrick Henry's had a pretty slow year as well. Tyler Lockett, I figured he was going to have a great year. But I don't know if I think it's more of a Geno Smith problem this year. But Tyler Lockett's kind of come down to earth after last year. Jacoby Myers was really like the weakest guy on his team. So I was like, I'm not going to knock him for one weakness. But, Jacoby Myers. I mean, what do you expect? Evan Ingram, honestly, I don't even know. I'm not even sure what kind of year Evan Ingram's even having. I haven't checked. I don't watch Jacksonville Jaguars too often, and Evan Ingram's not on my team. So, who cares, right? But overall, I mean, he's still in 4th place. So he has a chance to get up to first place. I'm gonna say I nailed it. I say he's gonna have a good year. He's having a good year. 1st and 4th. I would not complain if I was in 4th place or 1st place right now. And I'll do another episode at the end of the year, and I'll see what the final projections end up being. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, please like it on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Twitter at BogeyGolfer9. If you're able to help support the program with new software and equipment upgrades, feel free to leave a tip on Twitter as well. As always, good luck in life and fantasy. Peace.